So this is a Club WPT play money tournament. So the blinds are pretty cheap at the beginning, so I'm going to play lots of pots at the beginning. Try to decipher my opponent's strategies and let's see what the mission is for this hand. The mission is going to be to probe. This is a probing mission. Probing defenses in my poker opponent's hands here, trying to find chinks in their armor to capitalize. So let's see. Oh, there's a raise. So there's does he really like it? What is this gonna do? Does he raise again? Does he go all in, all in, all in, all in, all in? There we go. Nice chunky pot already. And then, okay, so 10 chips. It's like, okay, well, 10 chips and a pot like that doesn't really mean much. So how about this, guys? That's a big call. Big call. So let's see, what could he possibly have? What could he have? Is he hoping to river me? Is he hoping to river me as I check it down using the whole time bank? It's part of my strategy as I strategize. So let's see, how would this? It's part of the Manhandler edition by Wrangler Jeans. Just kidding. But Wrangler jeans are pretty manly. So let's see. So what does Wesley have? Like the flush draw came through now. So he did up it a little bit. He could have had the king or the flush, or he probably had the winner. I guess if I was a poker player, I'd be a wasp. I'm a wasp. Because I like the probe pots. So let's see, I'm gonna speculate with this one here. Hopefully they're on an ace and I hit the king. Oh no. Oh no. So how about this check, guys? What do you do now? No, okay. Okay, I see what you're doing. That's not good. Wow. That was A7 jacks. He would have got me to fold my king, but especially once the other player was in the pot. That time. But now I've seen that move, so I know how to defend myself against that type of opponent. Sustain controls the game. Sustain controls the game. How about this? I'll make a call. No, that wasn't ideal. That's not exactly what I was hoping for. This guy's like that. He missed. He missed on this. He's taking a swing. He's taking a swing. Nice. Nice move. Nice move. I knew he missed. Oh, he's right back in the saddle. You just like reload. I didn't know you could reload in these tournaments. I'm new to this app. I've only been using it for about a day. I do like it so far, though. Love it for tournaments. It has a heads up feature, which is awesome. So I guess that's what I'll. No, I can't really play heads up in a tournament at the same time and enjoy it because heads up, yeah, you're active every hand, right? I guess I could and just play really tight in the tournament and just be active all the time in the heads up. It'd be the only counter strategy.
fall asleep.
Oh, nice.
Then the siren went off on the TV.
Yeah, it could be pretty intense, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
So this person's showing quite a bit of aggression here. So I do have position over them, so I do want to evaluate, proceed with caution, right? I'm going to see they're likely to raise on the flop. So unless they have a pocket pair, then I'm going to fold, unfortunately, because there's a guy behind me that has lots of chips. I think Wesley did smash it. He smashed the flop. I didn't think any of them hit the flop. Well, either of them. Yes, it would be. So let's see. So this is part of Operation Steamroll right here. So Wesley's chipping up pretty good. Okay, I have 26-10. Let's see. I do want to play some pots with these guys. I have position over them, and they seem to be more active than this side of the table here, where they're kind of sitting on their hands, it seems. Okay, so Wesley looks like they're going to be playing aggressive now that they have some chips, and so that is pretty good strategy. Depending on the outcome of this hand, that was a little too aggressive. He has 4 outs, or 3 outs, pardon me, because there is an ace. So he had 2 queens and 1 ace in the deck. So that was just the wrong flop. He just ran into a big hand that time. It's just a little too aggressive. So ideally in that situation, to avoid having your opponent double up through you, is you want to make it a stiff bet and then basically fold to any massive re-raise if they go all in. If they flop the flush, right? If you make a big enough bet, they're going to want to play for it all. So once you sense that they want to play for it all, and it's atypical to their behavior in the past, then you just make the fold most of the time. Right? If it feels right to make the fold, then you make the fold. Right? If it feels right to call, you got to you always got to try to put your opponents on cards to refine that skill, like develop that skill, right? Because the more, like, if you put opponents on cards and then you're at a casino, you'd be like, hey, your jack's no good, right? And then you make your move, right? And then that's just instant intimidation factor that you're gonna have over the table, right? You're just gonna all of a sudden, like, especially like at the beginning of the tournament, right? Like in the first like 5 hands or something like that, you put some guy on a hand, and while you're in the pot, you're just gonna intimidate the rest of the table. They're all gonna should immediately respect you and fear you at the same time. So let's see how this hand develops. Because what's good on the flop might not be good by the river in poker. So that's something to think about. So the turn didn't really change things from it could, I guess, potentially a 2 pair. So this guy feels weak. This guy's super weak, most likely. So what does this guy do behind me when I make this move? When I do the manhandler. Manhandler worked. So let's see. Okay, so this is some aggression. I do want to play pot with them. Like they likely have a really strong hand because they haven't really showed aggression. So I do want to play a pot. There we go. There's a waste of some chips. I should have known the fold ahead of time, but I can't afford to call here, so I'm gonna make a loose call. Just as this is I might end up winning the pot. You never know, right? But typically I would fold in this scenario. This was like kind of a fantastic flop. This was a fantastic flop. Because like when I'm like, what about this, guys? Nice. So I just caused like a train wreck here, figuratively. And somebody's gonna not like it so much. Pocket aces was loving it. So he did have a big hand. They both did, right? Like they were really tight. So just with that particular board, it was unlikely that either of those opponents, based on their tightness, would have had a hand that would have been conducive to that particular board. So I tried to make him a move like with a stiff bet to say, "Hey, I got it, guys." And the guy's like, "With my pocket aces, not this time." With his pocket aces, I guess it would be. Unless that was for the computer interface. Unless you should have seen their face. Most likely. In your subconscious mind. Okay, this sucks. I think I could steal the pot. In case you were listening with the computer, I had to make some of those audio bluffs. I'm not streaming this online, but you see, based on my cards, that I run into like rough hands all the time. More over scenarios in tournament play than everybody else. So I just want fair odds and put on a clinic. I go by the moniker Myth-Pristical, so I try to exhibit my Myth-Pristicalisms. Splendid, spectacular, gameplay sometimes. The rig, it makes it a shit-tacular day rather than a spectacular day. I should want Driscoll to have a spectacular day all the time, never a shit-tacular day. So the best part about this moment right now is I have enough to make a raise here. So the blinds are kind of getting up, so I'm going to try to generate some play for big pots. Big pots. Here we go. I'm hoping to make some I was hoping to have a much better flop than that, actually. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. So the guy that's betting probably has a straight draw. Wow. He liked the king quite a bit. So this guy could have a king. Oh no, I guess he couldn't have a king and a flush draw. But he either has the king or the flush draw, so let's see what happens. Now the straight came through, so I would have had the low straight. What does this guy do? So that's a big bet. So does he have king 10? Nice bet. Go all in. Go all in. He's not liking it so much now, so he maybe does have the king. What does he do now? How does he respond? There's the response I was hoping for. Some of that bad beat next hand tilt action. Lost tilt move. I'm gonna try to recover all my chips the next hand and nobody's gonna notice. Okay, I have to fold. That's a nice bet though. Sometimes you do have a big hand the next time, but usually it's a stress, pissed off move. You're like, hey, I'm just pissed off I lost. I'm gonna be aggressive. So everybody does it. I just do it on a different table. Like if somebody pisses me off on one table, I'll just take my aggression out on another table. Okay, so how many? So I'm still on the wait list for this game. So I'm gonna close that out. I guess I will play a heads-up tournament. I'll just take my time. It's a really slow blind structure at first. There we go. All set. Slow down a bit in the tournament here and focus more on the heads up. After a while, after about like 5 minutes of the heads up, I'll just kind of take my time. So because you can't really build big pots right away. It's a pretty good structure for heads up, right? You get to lots of gameplay for the play chips that you play. Like if you go all, like, it starts out with like 10 chips, right? 5, 10, right? You get 1,000 chips, right, or whatever. So it's not like they're gonna, or 1,500 chips, whatever it is. They're not gonna call an all-in bet, right? So they fold, and so you can't really create action in them at first. You have to wait for the blinds, like play it slow, and then wait for the blinds to increase so you can build the pots, and just kind of establish a reputation at the beginning of the tournament, and then try to capitalize on it, at the end of it. Let's see. So let me get back to the other table real fast, so I can see this malarkey. So now back to the heads up. So I like how they cut the cards for heads up. That's a pretty cool feature. It's typical of what you would do in real life, right? So I do like that about the app. Oh wow, they're sitting out. Oh, this is gonna be a long. Sorry, because it's a guaranteed win. So I'm just gonna raise it, and then just have time to jump to the table here and see what's going on, and go back to here. And they're still sitting out, so I just keep raising it. It's gonna be a long time, but they're back. Fun. Nice. So one theme for my videos is whatever I say is going to be mitigated by the coincidentalness of the sequence of events that transpired a short time after I mentioned it on film. That's all, folks. That's all. Okay, so how much did I win? I do want to play a cash game, so I guess I'll play it. Hopefully somebody joins this. Man, oh man, I can't hit the board for the life of me. Okay. Okay. Nice bet. I have to see it. It's going to be short stack mode after this, but I have to see it. It's all right. Now it's a survival mode. So let's see. I'm 119th out of 120th, so I want to finish in the top 100 goal. And then if I finish, if I'm in the top 100, then at that point, I'll go for my goal. New goal will be top 50, then top 10, then number 1. I'm gonna still win this tournament in my mind, without any brain computer interface cheats. Let's see what happens. Let's see what transpires with real odds. Let's see if I can beat McChrystal, as I state the case to be. Because on this one app, they had 16 leagues, and 9 was professional, and level 16 was mythical. So once I made it to level 16, I started calling myself McChrystal on that website. Because that's how creative I am. You mean the announcer voice guy can be creative as well? Fucking right I do. So let's see, so it's going to be a lot of folding here. And watch and evaluate, right? Like, it takes no skill virtually, my next hand, right? Other than patience and getting lucky for that hand to at least double up or triple up or more, right? Then depending on that situation, right? Like, should I win that hand depending on the result? If I say triple or quadruple up, then at that point I'm still very in desperation mode. So then I would need to win one more hand, either a double up or triple up scenario, and then you're right back in it. And then there's an expression in poker, you could go from the poorhouse to the penthouse pretty fast. Just takes luck, and at first it's patience, right? Like most people, when they lose a big pot, they get pissed off and they go all in. And but if you're patient, you wait, and you wait for a big ace or big king, and kind of go with it, or pocket pair, and kind of hope for the best, and then just keep on trying to recover, and then once you're back in it, then you change your gameplay again, right? Like from desperation mode to like surviving mode to thriving mode, basically. So here we go. Here's I'm swinging for the fences. Swinging for the fence. Desperadin. I had to say Desperadin because I couldn't sing it because of the fancy little thing called copyrights. Here we go, short stack, classic flip situation. I'm 1-3 on this website. Now he has the flush draw. Nice. So there we go, I doubled up. Now 150, so what is that? I have five big blinds. So I need to win a hand before big blind comes around. And I do. But if I have to fold both the big blind and small blind to survive, then I'll have to do that. It's the poker equivalent to like the movie where the guy had to cut off his arm to survive. So who's going to do with this hand instead of Myth Crystal? Figuratively, ideally. Ideally you're not in that circumstance, but if you are, then that's how you survive. Just make a tourniquet around the part of your body that you need to amputate, and until you cut off circulation, and then ideally have a clean knife, and that's a last resort move, but to survive, that's what you got to do, right? But once you tie a tourniquet, you can't undo it, because you could get a clot that could kill you. So let a medical professional do that. But in a survival scenario, you can tie a tourniquet to cut off circulation, and then try to put it, try to bend down if you could to, so your arm, or if that's the case, is higher than your heart rate. Your arm is higher than your heart, so you have gravity to cut off circulation going in your favor. And then once it's numb and you can't feel the skin, then go from there. You know, bite down on something probably. The pain is gonna be in. But that's not step one, right? That's not the first. That's not the go-to move. Give the search and rescue team a chance to find you, right? You know, maybe stop for a day, right? You could go a couple days without eating or drinking, right? So tough it out for a bit, and then once you feel like you're getting weak and gonna pass out, and at that point, you have to go for it. Even before then. Just do what you think's best, right? If you think you're going to survive and increase your odds of survival, then you take that opportunity. This hand's taking incredibly long. The blinds are going to go up. Hurry. I'm short stack, right? So now I'm concerned about the blinds going up. When you're big stack, you don't even think about the blinds. You don't even care. Nice. So what do I got going on here? So I got this one. This one needs to be closed. So I have to go for it. Pretty much the best case scenario, right? Big blind and ended up with a hand and possibly triple up. So hopefully a 3 of spades on the turn. So I need the 3. 4 threes. Well, that's terrible. That's the favorite pre-flop. Let's see, I could rebuy. That's not as bad. Sucks having to rebuy, but I did want to play this tournament. And not the same table, so it's alright. Okay, so 10-9, hopefully no 8. So now he has 2 9s, 3 10s, and 4 8s. Then he hit it. Runner, runner. Runner, runner. That was pathetic. 2 overcards. He had 10 outs when he called. In his mind, he had 10 cards and a 47 to make his fucking hand. Pathetic sight. After me hyping it up. It's pathetic. Every video so far. When do I get lucky? With my hands just holding up. That's a joke. That's a joke. So what's going on here? That's terrible. So, well, it shows that the play is quite weak on this website. Man, that was terrible. The math is supposed to punish poor players. But why does brain computer interface guy that talks about it all the time that's victimized the most? How come the math never fucking pays off for me? Love this. That's fantastic. So every time I misclick, that's those perpetrators right there, most likely showing their faces. And obviously, it's not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy named Christian Eric Arnie Meyer who's showing everybody, all the time, all videos, all platforms. So these people think they're special. They're a different piece of shit. That's all they are. My brother Barry died almost 5 years ago. It's February 2026. Because most likely these idiots, they pretend that it's a different year and their delusions affect my reality. How come the Canadian government thinks that's ethical? So showing the perpetrators right there, once again, their home addresses now. Every time they rip them off, I'm gonna show more of these fucking creeps. Self-preservation mode. How about this, guys? I wanted it more than that. That kind of sucked. That was a misclick. This guy's taking forever. So I have a chance to evaluate my situation. Fold here. Come back here. Make the call. He's got the ace. He has the ace. It's the smooth call I thought, but then it's like, yeah, based on this side, he was guaranteed to have the ace. As they constantly have that card. Like, worst luck. I've already uploaded like 3 hours of videos, so it shows it already. Okay, so I'm done that tournament. I'm sitting out of here, so that's done that. So let's see what I have since I just got pillaged. It just feels like I got hustled. Well, because some loser wanted to, once again, that's what he pretends to be blonde-haired, blue-eyed, but he doesn't have any evolutionary DNA, most likely. As I most likely have. So, well, this is a pretty good video. I don't want to delete it because it does show some awesome things that they were hoping I would delete the video for. So, most likely, bring computer interface violators. They exploit their perpetrators at Bill C-18, and they victimize me based on. I said, if you heard my voice, that was a computer interface rapist. Most likely. So I guess I got some time, so I'm going to show you a few things here. So nanoparticles, a key component of nanotechnology, can enter the human body through various routes, including inhalation, ingestion, skin penetration, and also through digital impulses through electronic devices like cell phones. So I'm just going through my screenshots here. So this is how my theory cures blindness. Yes, theoretically, it's possible for electromagnetic waves to be used to transmit information to nanotechnology biomolecular communication devices within the brain, which could then stimulate the visual primary cortex to create visual perceptions. This concept involves using nanotechnologies to interface with the nervous system, potentially restoring or enhancing vision for individuals with visual impairments. While BC brain-computer interface and remote patient monitor can significantly improve the lives of individuals with disability, directly enabling someone to look at another person using these technologies. They're saying it's not currently possible, but it is. I'll just show you more proof of that. So yes, brain-computer interface with remote patient monitoring technologies could potentially help individuals with visual impairments perceive objects. So they could help you type. Let's see. Some technologies to type and repair severe visual impairments, to type and communicate by translating brain signals into commands. That's all brain computer interfaces. So go to change.org/technology. Change.org/you could be a hero to stop brain computer interface voyeurs, because they have a profiling system, so they hack you. Other people hack you to look at certain things to register you instead of themselves, and then they microdose through you and try to kill you off, most likely. So right here, yes, so electromagnetic waves can influence the Gauss reading within the body, particularly primarily in specific scenarios. right? So they could falsely register people with the Gauss or Tesla system that Canada and other countries employ. So to stop them is to utilize those tactics. And, let's see. I'm just gonna pause this. Well, not literally an antenna, the brain shares functional similarities with a radio receiver. So just think a radio receiver you could listen to, you could phone into a radio station, and right, so you could transmit and receive signals, and that could go both ways, right? So this could use it in resonance inductive coupling, and you could prevent anybody from circumventing anything. Basically, you could have a robotic device where that's quantum computing connected, and so at the last second for all the final commands, it can make sure that it was an official command based on the resonance inductive coupling within the robotic device itself. That's what Smart Chris does in my Nobel Prize campaign. So just back to poker action now. Myth Crisco, Christian Eric, Arnie Meyer, myself, Caucasian, 48 years old. I have to say that because most likely computer interface people pretend I'm a black man or a female. That's why my eyes changed like that. That would be different systems that were being tuned out. So they need to be turned off permanently. So I registered in a sit and go here. In the meantime, there's 60 minutes before the tournament. Go. Nice suited bluffer hand. And it is that easy, folks. Let's see. No, nice bet. He's like, hey, I have 7-8. So I'm just gonna fold. Possibly. Could be drawn, like I'm hoping to hit my hand and it's a chop, right? Somebody has 7-8. 3 of a kind, 2 pair, something big. This many people, let's see what happens. Wow. I've never played it in single on the side. 2 pair. There's the flush draw. The over. I think I just cleaned out 3 opponents. Nice. Even easier to finish in the money. Now in second position. $77. Here we go. Nice. For somebody who has a queen or a 10, or both a queen and a 10, like me. Nice. What does he have? Raise. Raise. I clearly didn't want him to raise, but after my little interlude there with the brain computer interface, I gotta bluff him. How about this? Nice. Good call. What about Jeff the Great 2? Is it Jeff the Great 2 or Jeff the Great squared? Let's give him some bad math odds. Bad pot odds here. Bad math. For some bad math. See if they're a bad player. how this guy handles it. Oh, no takers. No takers. Crazy. No takers. I'm gonna call if this guy calls. So I'm gonna jam. I'm just bluffing the brain computer interface when I'm saying something opposite to what I'm doing or misleading. Cause that's what you do when you play poker and you think people are cheating. Here we go. So 2 cards out of 48 in the deck. And he still has 2 outs. Still has 2 outs. It's not looking good for the Jacks. Looking fantastic for the Aces. The man hammer. Nice. So they froze up, so they might have the queen. So there might be some action from this guy here. So he likely has the queen. Since there's no action with the ace he's playing. Most likely. Or two pair. I guess he could have the straight for a slippery hand. The slippery hand is the straight there. It's a hand. Every once in a while, you want to try to play it, right? But if you have the chips, then you could try to play it more often, right? Like that oddball hand, and I'm just so experienced now that I like to play many pots and try to navigate the waters and win. I always want to win. That's why you play poker, is to win. And do it metacritically. Did he use it myth? No. He's a legend. A living legend. I'm gonna increase my odds of winning again. And the way I'm gonna do that is with the pot size bet. So hopefully I get one or more folds. Or calls all the way up to the river if that's the case, and then folds on the river. That'd be fucking spectacular. So here we go. How does he like this for 1/3 of his chips? He liked it. He liked it so far. So I'm gonna check it down, and hopefully luck kind of rewards me with this gamble, this type of fishing. So let's see. Okay, so I'll call it 40 chips. Some aggression. And then I was hoping to have the fortuitous bounce, but I didn't. So I'm going to try to seize initiative and win it without the judges based on fucking skill. But he manhandled me. He wasn't like, he's like, no, he doesn't have the 7. Nice hand. That's a nice hand. That's alright. It's not going to stop me from bluffing this time. Not going to stop me from bluffing this time. Did I improve? Did I improve enough? Let's see. I like my hand about this much. That's alright. I'll take that. So hopefully the top 3 finish in the money. So maybe this guy, hopefully he gets knocked out. This hand actually. But this guy I hope wins. Call. I might get lucky. Didn't look like I was going to get too much out of that pot, so I was just trying to be a little bit cheeky about it. Shove them guard, shove up. I got legit hands. Sometimes. Look at this, guys. Hopefully I could bust 2 people here, and it's not looking likely. Not looking likely at all. Oh, that was a disgusting river. That was not the river I wanted to see. So the theme of this single is constant aggression series. I think I played every hand. It's fantastic. I love tournaments like that. Singles. But even had tournaments every once in a while. I'll go through a period where I'm able to play like say 30, 40 hands in a row. Usually. Missing the odd one here and there, maybe like 4 hands out of like 40 hands or whatever, right? Figuratively, 30, 40 hands in a row. Like close enough though, like nice bet. I'm back here. Been out four-handed for a while. Hopefully I improve. Going forward, let's see how this big fold here for the bigger move over here. Next hand. So, well, now that it's three-handed, the single should pick up the pace. Oh, I got a bigger club than you. Since I just tuned into the station. Sound like a brain computer interface. Change to this table. Here we go. Nice. Some more spectacular came in my mind. I think I'm doing alright. Gotta hype myself up. Here we go. How about this move, guys? How'd I get this much? What about you? Okay, one fish on the hook. No, I'm just kidding. I have a lot of oats, but I won't hit it. So I'm gonna slow down. Slow down. I show him that much weakness. I'm gonna be like, hey, how about this? It's part of the Chronicles of the Manhandler with Driscoll. Let's see, on this table. So I'm glad the tournament started, so I was able to shift gears. I was pretty aggressive in the Sin Ghost, and now my opponents are probably wondering what's happened. Now that's why I like playing multiple tables, so I could pick my spots on 2 different bets, basically. Sweet. It's the kind of card I like to see. I love seeing that card. What did they do now? That raise. Okay, they just called. Nice call. He has the jack. I was hoping that sometimes you get people with the jack to fold in that scenario. That's the scenario if I was at the casino, I'd be like, hey, your jack's no good. Make my move. So that was kind of shit-tacular, actually. It's alright. I don't mind. This one guy seems to have a big chip lead now, which is good. They're kind of quiet, so you gotta respect the raise, but how they've been playing right there. They haven't made any mistakes because they're picking their spots pretty good, or a few mistakes, if any, right? It's like you're just casually paying attention to your opponent's behavior, and it's much easier doing it against one opponent, heads up, and and seeing what they try to decipher their strategy, especially if you played against them in the past, like on the site, like you might be able to keep. Let's see if you could keep notes. Oh, you can't keep notes. Oh yeah, there's notes right here. You could keep. There's a note option, so you can keep notes on your opponents, right? So you'd want to play them heads up and then see how they play typical hands like top pair, middle pair, bottom pair on the flop, flush draws, straight draws on the flop, and then beyond, and then how the hands develop. So just that's basically what you'd want to do. Can't tell you all my tricks, and I need to keep the turn and river play strategy to myself. Here we go. This is the big pot. Big, huge opportunity here to double up. Huge. 9-6. Yeah, the same kind of idea, I guess. Looks like it's a chop, but my luck, it won't be. I'm trying to say that to try to influence it before the cards came. The same. Most likely I'm being victimized by brain computer interface because my superior tactical skills. Nice hand. I was hoping you didn't have the ace. I thought my king was a sure fire being in the head. So there we go. I got lucky. That's alright. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. So let's see. Now I'm back in the saddle, if you will. Let's see if this guy does it. No takers. No takers. So I'm not always gonna have the best hand, so I'm gonna have to start making moves like that when I have nothing based on timing. If the situation presents itself, anyways, now that I said that, because of brain computer interface. But if without brain computer interface technology, I would definitely try to pounce on my opponents every time I was on the button I'd want to raise, until my opponents figured it out, and then I'd change my strategies, right? So I squeaked into second place so far, so it's good, but really it's so close that I'd be crippled afterwards. If I went heads up against that opponent and lost, I would have like one big blind. Nice. So just kind of showing aggression after being on pause for a while. I always just missed that. I was waiting for the exclamation. I didn't see it like this. They should give you the exclamation mark, so I guess I'll go back and forth. Other apps, you have your phone like up the other way, right? Instead of horizontally, you have it vertically. So they would have the two tabs at the top, so you see the one change color or whatnot. You know you're live at that point, and it's waiting for a response. So then you can toggle back and forth really easily. This one you have to drop down here and see. But the good thing about watching it is you can always pause it and then rewind and see how I played a particular sequence. Because I'll maybe reveal my strategy on the opposite table sometimes. So here we go. This is the moment where I'm going to go like this. Try that type of move. That tool was called a Phillips screwdriver. In with Crisco's toolbox. There we go. Nice. That's what I like about playing is lots of opportunity to be active. You know, when you play poker, you don't want to sit there and watch. You want to be active. So, best way to do that is open up multiple tables and then pick your spots at each table. See which. Then you could constantly be playing and being able to keep up with events that are going on and stay stimulated basically the entire time. Because it does get boring in tournaments at times if you just play one tournament. Like if you go on an incredible down streak. Okay, so he could have a pocket pair. It's unlikely he has the 8. I do have the ace, so I'm going to call. That should be a favorite though. King 3. He has one less king to hit. Still get it nice. Second place, so I'm glad I wanted to play against that opponent heads up. So I got my wish. So now hopefully I could come through with the wind. Because I've spoken English my entire life. It's my first language. Here we go. This guy's gonna get aggressive now. That's nice. At least I have a decent amount of chips where I'm not too much of an underdog. I was likely going to be an underdog against them based on how they were playing. They're really reserved, and they played solid every time they played solid. So it was a deadly combination. They kind of just let me do all the dirty work, and now they're trying to hoping to come in for the win and scoop it up. And I'm thinking, not today, by the river, not by the river. A big shit club. Mine's this big. I'm just kidding. I'm glad that one got through. It's almost like they let me get that one through. So they have to compete every time because then it's too predictable. So I just busted them. Most likely somebody, I believe his initials are PH. And he's a pro. Mr. Tantrums. Junior, most likely. Because I'm probably a really good psychic. In some scenarios. For some scenarios, for some things. Let's see. How about this? That's so okay, that's a nice play. The player that I'm playing at in the sit and go, I'd want to play them and ideally be not partnered with, but at the same table as them for when the final 40 players remaining, and then play them heads up would be fantastic. Somebody like that, just solid gameplay and we're like just tight and but aggressive at times, and to be able to just see how they play over the tournament, and then if they're the best player, then end up heads up to try to solidify the win. It'd be you don't want a weak win, right? You want a whole point of especially play money poker is to develop your skills, right? So you want to try to beat the hardest competition as possible for the least amount of risk, right? It's play money. Just costs you time, energy, and effort. And you get rewarded, right? Like, because the math in poker is the same with play money as it is real money. So as long as you have a solid math game and then you understand psychology, like people have different risk tolerances for certain things, right? Like one thing is like swimming, right? Like some people like to jump off cliffs, and other people will never jump off a cliff. You have to be thrown off a cliff, right? So they have different risk tolerances, right? So there's certain bets that you're willing to call, and then if they bet a little bit more, you're going to fold, right? So understanding that psychology, you could employ it against your opponents. So you want to always try to increase your odds of winning. So I'm going to stiff bet. It's unlikely he has the jack taking this long. He could be smooth calling it, but it's unlikely. Nice call. No, that was... No, it's probably coming down to the luck of the river. The luck of the river. Does his ace blah? Ace king, ace queen, ace 10. Ace king. Luck of the river. So that's two hands I accurately put my opponents on here, so I could say accurately. But I mentioned the brain computer interface, right? So some of those people in this video, I haven't uploaded it. I'm not streaming this, right? So it's pretty strange that they that quick to adjust their criminal intent. That's why my name's Anti-Cheat Man, right? I'm trying to stop brain computer interface cheats, so to make poker a legitimate game, because it requires skill, a lot of math, right? You're making fractions and all the time, and you're understanding probability. Like, so based on this pot, there's 1,350 chips in this pot. So if you bet, well, on the turn, if you bet say 600, you're giving them 1 in 2 odds that they for them to call. They have 1 in 2 odds that they have the winner, right? So if they're chasing their hand, you're likely to get a fold at that point, right? So you try to give your opponents bad math odds, but you always try to make your calls strict math odds, unless you think they're bluffing in that particular circumstance. That's fundamentally what it is, but it takes millions of hands of experience to master it, right? Like it takes a lifetime to master poker, right? So the he called. Let's see what happens. Jack 8. So I'm a favorite here. So does the underdog upset and again on this site? Now he has more odds, even more odds. His odds improved. Even more outs was, but I won. And I'm almost chip leader. It's virtually a tie now, so that's fantastic. So every time I have to correct myself, that's brain computer interface. Like once the world sees, like the internet says that I'm most likely I'm a new species based on, my different muscles and different bone structures that I have that's unique to the human race. And a simple CAT scan in a different country where I could show how efficient my organs are and how large my brain is. That's why Smarticus could go from announcer voice to Smarticus voice. You mean Myth Crisco? Fucking right, he could adjust his voice. Because he's seen comedians do it on TV as a kid. thought it was funny as fuck. So he's like, hey, I'm going to emulate the behavior that I want to become when I'm older. That's all you do. All right, if you go to a new city, you move to a new city, it's like, okay, well, what do the cool guys dress like in this city that I want to look like? Right, what's the style for this city? Because every city has its own style, right? So that's what it is. So that's a nice bet. So back to this, I must be sitting out here. So that's unfortunate. So there we go. Let's see what happens here. So now it's time to come from behind. I guess I won't really care about the tournament too much until this sim goes over. Because I do want to win it. Need to win this hand nice. I'll hopefully get lucky enough to win this next hand. There we go. Now we're back in schedule. Back on track. He has a good fold tendency, so I like my chances that he was going to fold. Got lucky so far. We just hit a jack or 2 4s. 3 jacks out of 44 cards left. 41 are good for me. And 3 sucked. 3 were shit-tacular. So let's see, now that happened. Okay, so I do want to call if I can go here. Check this down. Since I'm first act, I'm going to make my move, go back to the other table, see what's happening here, go back to the fast table, make my fold, go back to this table, make my move, come back here, make my raise play, get my folds that I need. So nice. I'm going to make another raise play since I'm feeling the momentum. Oh, he made the call, so hopefully it's a loose call like last time. And what happened here? 4, so he's the favorite now, more so. And what happens here? I think I get unlucky. Unless the river. I got unlucky. Unfortunately, lost the flip. Anyways, that sucks. It was a good match, though. So let's see, how many chips did I win? So I won 2,700 play chips. Okay. Fold that, so now I'm back on track in the tournament. So I got some play chips. I'm glad I finished in the money in the play tournament. So let's see, that's the 32. So I guess I'll play in another one actually. Another single. So no single, there's hold on. This one here. I like that. I think I'm going to be pretty much indomitable in the singles because it's 9-handed and probably the top 3 finish in the money. So the way I played so many tournaments and so many singles that I'm usually in the top 3 or 4. Like, you know, it's not too often I'm going to finish 9th. Like, because I don't play my aces or kings or ace king like super aggressive. Like it would have to be like I would have to have like a full house or a flush like right at the beginning and get destroyed. Maybe not even a straight. Like a straight, I could probably fold. I could fold anything. I'm routinely. Well, I guess routinely as often as needed. I fold full houses. When the situation is it's been presented, this feels exactly how I play my full house when I have the nuts. It's like, oh, okay, so then I'm gonna make a swift little fold now, and that's all it is, right? You watch somebody and you anticipate their strategy, like what you would do when you've seen your opponents do that were successful against you, particularly because those are the ones that sting the most and you're most likely to remember. But that's all you're trying to do. And then follow it up with always trying to increase your chances of winning every hand, right? So you wanna bet to protect your strong hands. So you're able to have fewer opponents that see the flop. So pre-flop, that is, you want to protect your strong hands, and then you want to bet on the flop, like to protect your pair, your two pair, your three of a kind. Like you want to three of a kind. You're probably thinking more like trying to build a pot, hoping to river a full house for a massive pot with somebody that has a flush is like the ideal scenario. Those are pretty nice when those happen. But it's just being aggressive for pots, like trying to win the pots that nobody wants, right? Because as the blinds increase, the pots become pretty big, right? So if you're never defending or fighting for what you've invested in your pot, like in the pot, then you're not gonna be profitable long term, right? Because you need to win those pots that nobody else wants to win more often than not. Like, so at first, like, you see a board like this, it's scary. It's like, oh no, an ace. Then like there's two aces, and wow, I'm crushed, right? But then after a while, you win a certain percentage of these pots. Then the situation presents itself, right? Like you don't force the action all the time. Basically, you're always trying to understand, evaluate. You're trying to figure out how many outs you have, and then if the play is slow enough, then you're trying to figure out how many outs your opponents could possibly have. What could they have that could beat you? And then if you bet, you're just like, okay, so whatever's in the pot. So if there's 1,000 chips in the pot, you want to make sure that you have good pot odds, right? To call, right? So if they bet 1,000 chips, that means you need to be accurate 100% of the time, right? Whereas if he bets 200 chips, you need to be accurate 1 time out of 5, and you could be wrong 4 times out of 5 and still be break even. So anything more than that, like, so that being said, right, you don't want to be betting on the river if you have a fairly strong hand. You don't want to be making these weak bets of, say, 200 bucks and $1,000 pot, like making a weak bet like that, unless you think that's all you could extract from that particular pot. Because if you make a weak bet like that, you're going to get people that make those calls just because they're getting good math, right? If they're like, say, a 1 in 4 underdog and you're giving them 1 in 5 odds, right? Like they're mathematically it makes sense to call. Even they're going to lose. Like sometimes mathematically, as long as it's a good play long term, right? You just got to, anytime you have a better fraction than what they do, or likely to have, based on how you play hands, how you see other people play hands. Like whenever you always got to constantly be learning from your opponents, right? When you see a successful behavior or somebody bluffs against you, now you just learned a new way to bluff against other people that don't know that bluff. So it's a new tool in your toolbox, right? It's like kind of like a monkey wrench. To get the suspicious people that are quite suspiciously like fish compared to sharks. Smith Crisco, Christian Eric Arnie Meyer. Yeah. Productions. So let's see. Okay. How about this? Unfortunate. Now it's not allowing me to toggle between. There we go. I had to press it like 65 times. That was pretty atrocious. Press these 10 times. 10, 15 times. That was after I had to figure out how to toggle out of the screen. perpetrator settlers are following the chain all across the board. Every precinct should have seen something based on March 11th, 2025's these noise moves. Most likely is I need to start making some moves. I guess not really. The blinds are pretty cheap in this area. People out. Oh no, this guy's really short. I might say good luck to him, but it's a sin go see one. You can see here, pretty sure odds of being in the money. So I'm actually going to end this video and then follow it up with a part 2. It could cut out at any moment.